Hey everybody, I'm here with a quick video on Brian McKnight. Brian McKnight has got to be one of the meanest, egoist fathers that has ever lived. This man seems diabolical. His son, from his first, some of his earlier relationships, said that when his brother Nico was passing, all he wanted for his father, Brian McKnight, was to say, I love you. And this man would refuse to say, I love you to his own son. It doesn't get any more evil than that. Let me share a screen so we can get more into this story.
Darkest and coldest and most disheartening memories of my life is the day my brother calls me sobbing with all that he's going through, looking death in the eye, to tell me I'm right about telling him not to call my father. Because I knew what was going to happen. Because I knew where my dad was. I told him, man, the dad is gone. Dad's gone. All my brother wanted and needed, asked for, was my father to tell him that he loves him. And my brother responds to him, I can't arbitrarily, or my father responds to my brother that I can't arbitrarily say that I love you.
Right.
But this is the man that wanted to help him. One of the darkest and coldest and most disheartening.
So Brian McKnight's estranged son, Nico, passes away following a battle with cancer. So this is the son that wanted Brian McKnight to just say, I love you before he passes on. And that man could not ever find it in his heart to even say that to his dying son. And let me tell you, I used to like Brian McKnight's music. I refuse to listen to it. I won't play it. I won't go to a Brian McKnight concert. That man is evil. How evil is that? Let me stop sharing that screen and share another screen. Hold on one second. Let's go back up. So Brian McKnight refuses to say I love you to the dying son Nico. He said, and they saying I can't. Brian McKnight Jr. claims that his estranged dad, Brian McKnight, refused to say I love you to his son Nico before he died from cancer. One of the darkest and coldest and most disheartening memories of my life is the day my brother Nico calls me sobbing with all that he's going through, looking death in the eye to tell me I'm right about telling him not to call my father because I knew what was going to happen. Brian Jr. said during a recent interview with Mark Lamont Hill, because I knew where my dad was, I told Nico, Dad is gone. All my brother wanted, needed, asked for was my father to tell him he loves him. The Mary, your daughter singer added, my father responds to my brother, I can't arbitrarily say that I love you, but this is the man that wanted to help him. Because Brian McKnight claimed that he wanted to help Nico through his cancer treatments, him and his wife. He had a doctor, but he's saying because Julie McKnight, their mother, told Brian not to help, that's why he stepped away and he didn't help. Brian is just unbelievable. Brian McKnight, the senior, the dad. Page 6 reached out to Brian for a comment, but did not immediately hear back. The backer one saying his family issues surfaced in October 2023 when he announced on Instagram that he had legally changed his name to become a senior to his then newborn son, Brian Kiona Mako Jr., whom he shares with wife Leilani. However, Brian was already a senior to his oldest son, Brian Jr. The following year, the 17-time Grammy nominee, 56, said he didn't claim his estranged biological kids because they were the product of sin. Oh my God. In order to live a life that you love, you have to get rid of the evil and the negativity, even if that evil and negativity is related to you, he said during a Q&A session on Instagram at the time. When a fan wrote that the musician is disowning his children, went against God, he replied, God wasn't talking about children that are the product of sin, which these two are, I guess they wanted to say there. I didn't raise them, their mothers did. 3 know the whole story before quoting the Bible. What he said, know the whole story before quoting the Bible. Take your inaccurate negativity off my page and try being happy. Brian only claimed the son and 2 stepchildren he shared with his wife, writing in his Instagram bio that he was the father of Julia, Jack, and his new baby. And that's the family that he claims and says he's the father to. In January 2024, Brian's son Nico, born Cole Nicholas McKnight, announced on Instagram that he had cancer. The R&B singer, who shares sons Brian Jr. and Niko with ex-wife Julie McKnight, daughter Brianna with ex-Patricia Driver, and son Clyde with an unidentified woman, claimed he offered to help Niko with his cancer battle, but stopped once Julie intervened. That's their mom. Brian said at the time that he and Mendoza were arranging for Niko and his wife to fly to their home. However, Julie, 53, allegedly made a hostile phone call to him, demanding he stop helping their son. That is Niko before he actually passed. That's them in different times. Pictures when they was all like a family. So what were we doing? We were adhering to her wishes because that's what she wanted, and we're staying out of it, the musician said. In an exclusive statement, the page says, Julie said, this is once again in response to bait myself and my family into his false narrative. He is a liar. Niko succumbed to his battle with cancer in May. Following the photographer's death, a source close to the situation exclusively told Page 6 that the Anytime singer had not reached out to the family. He did not contact or see Niko, the insider told us. While Brian did not make amends with Niko before his death, the hitmaker claimed he, his wife, and their kids flew home to Maui and had a private memorial remembering him and all the good times. In October, Brian took to social media claiming he won more than $8 million in a defamation judgment that he filed against Julie because she didn't appear in court. To say this is sad is an understatement. For Brian to think his life is going to be blessed with his new family, and he's putting a curse on his old family or cursing his own family or saying they was made out of sin is unbelievable. I don't have a problem with Brian adopting, or if he didn't even legally adopt, announcing that the children that his now wife had before him are his children and a part of his life and his new baby. Not a problem with none of that. But I do have a problem with you feeling like the only way you can have a good life and acknowledge your current family is by denouncing your previous relationships and the kids you have with those individuals. And to not, you're going to claim to have a memorial of celebrating all the good times with Niko, but Niko allegedly asks you to tell him that you love him, and you say you can't say that. Why would you go somewhere and have a memorial for somebody you never even loved or can't even say that you love? It just doesn't make any sense. Brian McKnight is a sad human being. If you ask me, I will never, ever, ever play or listen to his music again. And talking about his music, he needs to go back at one, find a heart, get a life, and repent. Anyway, guys, chat with me in the comments, and when I get an opportunity, I will chat back. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe. Hit the notification bell so that every time I upload a video, you will be notified. If you are a subscriber, welcome back. Everybody, thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts, and I'll see you on the next video.